Thank you so much for being here. You see, we have some extra people here with us today for our, and I feel like maybe we only have 2 beginning teachers with us.
In the end, Carmen and
Rocio. Okay.
so we're going to overwhelm you with information.
That's right. Okay. That's right. I'm just going to come and teach right here to you. We brought the 2nd and 3rd year teachers here today, just because we wanted, more people to party with. We thought that maybe they would have some good advice for you all. Just even like, hang in there. You can do it. It'll be okay. Let's see what we have here. We have our agenda on the orange sheet, and we have, let's do that piece first. Okay, so everybody signed in, right? You got a snack, you found your name tag, you chatted with your friends. Now let's talk a little bit about, and this is the 2nd and 3rd year teachers are not participating in this, but you can just listen to it. We're doing a book study with a book called Focus on Teaching. And it talks about actually how videotape can be used to help teachers see what's really going on in the classroom and then make some changes. And I'll tell you, it's amazing since, we videotape these meetings here, and we do these meetings, then we put them out there for everybody to see. And since we've been doing this book study, Patricia and I have been videotaping ourselves doing all kinds of things. And here's what I'm going to tell you. When you stand in front of people, don't ever do this. I don't care how comfortable it is not cute. But that's how quickly you can fix the crazy stuff you do. We had a high school teacher send us a reflection about what she noticed in the video, and she said, okay, here's what I noticed. My expression changes so much from student to student, from situation to situation. I need to not be so transparent, and I need to watch what emotions come through on my face so that students don't get, the wrong idea, or that I don't suddenly change into this, and she used the word ogre. I don't think she really changed into one. So what we know is that when you videotape yourself, you can see things that you can't see otherwise. So our mentors and our new teachers have been videotaping themselves, and we thought we could just sort of have some thoughts about what you noticed. So we have 3 questions there. Let's just talk about the first question. Last time we talked about ratios of interactions, and for our 2nd and 3rd year teachers, that's the idea that if I need to give Pilar a correction, and of course I do it, and I do it as nicely as I can, and I tell her why, but that was still, I was giving her attention for her negative behavior. So what I have to remember to do is now I owe her 3 times of giving her attention for positive behavior. So when I see her in the hall, I'm like, hey Pilar, good, pretty outfit today. I say, hey Pilar, good job turning in your homework. So I just find 3 different times to give her attention when she's doing something positive. So she learns that I can get attention from my teacher by doing good things, rather than the only way I can get attention from my teacher is by misbehaving. So we talked a little bit about that, and we asked the folks to videotape themselves for a little bit and count their ratios of interactions. What were you noticing? So anybody at all who actually did this event, and it's not our 2nd and 3rd year teachers, what did you, just anything at all that you noticed about ratios of interactions when you watched your video? Oh, wow, there's a lot of vacuuming here.
Well, we did it 2 times, right?
Okay.
So first I did it October 13th.
Okay.
I tried to do them really separate.
Nice.
So I noticed that I had more negatives, way more negatives, positive.
Hey.
And in the video I noticed that it was just, they weren't cooperating with people who pay attention. And I was frustrated, so that got them more frustrated, more talkative, so it was more negative. And then I recorded myself on the 27th of October, so the following week, and I had more positive and negative. Because I also reflected on that, and I said, well, maybe my frustration comes up, and there's just two, you know. So I was like, maybe I need to bring it down a little.
You're the leader of more than just instruction in the classroom.
Yeah.
They look at you and sort of, and these are very young brains that you have in there. And here's how young brains work. First, they internalize the emotion, and then they think about it. You know, we're adults, so when we see somebody crying, we go, our problem solving says, I wonder why they're crying. When they see somebody crying, they just start crying too. They internalize emotions first and think later. So you're exactly right. When you have that negative emotion in front of them, and that's the face they see, they will even copy you and do the same thing.
Oh yeah, because I noticed that in the first one, I walked up to a kid and he was like, "You're mad again?" You know, I was like, "No, I'm not mad at you. Know, I'm not mad." So I was like, "Okay,
No, I'm not mad at you."
That kind of told me something, you know. I thought, like maybe, am I mad all the time? You know, I don't think I am.
What do you mean mad
but-
again?
Yeah, that's what I said. What do you mean? So I kind of like also reflected.
And they're very honest.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
In my case,
Yes, ma'am.
it was I constantly was like referring to one particular student because he was like always, the one misbehaving, so I was constantly addressing him. So the second time, in a way, I just directed him more positive. So that's the difference that I observed.
And sometimes children don't care how they get your attention. They want it. And whatever is most effective, they're going to do. They don't care if it's negative attention. They don't care if it's positive attention. They just want attention. So when you directed him into positive and gave him positive for that, he was one of those kids that really said, oh, shoot, I can get attention from my teacher by doing good stuff.
Now his behavior has changed.
And here's the truth, probably at home, he doesn't get a lot of attention for doing positive things. So it's a habit that he's set up, not because of you, but because of other things. But you can break that because they very much know that you are different from this person and from this person. So they'll behave a different way with you. I see my grandchildren behave a whole different way with me than they do with my husband, than they do with their parents. It's like, are you the same children? I don't know. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I can share, at the beginning of the school year, of course, I'm new in the district and school.
Uh-huh.
So I was getting to know the students, of course. At first, they were all good in the first
Yes.
week.
Uh-huh.
And then they start kind of getting to know me a little bit.
Right.
And I will get frustrated sometimes. I will, like her, she was saying, and I will, because I'm the kind of person, I don't like to scream. I don't like
Yes.
to be, I
Yes.
try to stay level.
Right.
And so I started different strategies until when I came back from Thanksgiving,
Uh-huh.
because I was thinking, what can I do? So I was thinking,
Uh-huh.
what can I do to do something that I can connect with them so they can respect me and that everybody can win. So I started thinking, I'm just gonna have a different attitude about depends, and I started thinking about rewards.
Uh-huh.
But a reward that all the class will get.
Right.
So it's
Right.
working. It's changing. I mean,
Yes.
the kids are really, doing better, and
And
much better
that's,
now.
and with the reward system, that's really important that everybody can get it. It's not like I have 3 of these, so the best 3 children
Yeah.
are going to get it. No, it's like if everybody works up to this standard, everybody gets the reward.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So you've noticed a change.
Oh yeah, I was like, it's not working out, so I had to change it.
Yeah, and it may be hard the first couple of days when you're trying to make that change, but they train to things really quickly, so it'll
So I'm
be.
trying to change the classes that I was having trouble with. I'm doing the same thing with the other classes that I normally don't have, and it's working better with the other ones. So little by little, I'm hoping.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
By
And
the end of the year.
that's what we do every year is just try to figure out what's the next thing. Anybody else before we move on to the next one? The next question is just what did you notice from recording yourself, from videotaping yourself? And just so the second and third year people know that the mentors did this too. It's not just the protégés, the mentors did it too. So, yes, Pilar, what have you noticed?
I've noticed I take myself into sessions, one with 4th grade colors,
Okay,
ESL,
sure.
and then the second session was with 3rd grade reading comprehension.
Okay, so two very different
Yes.
populations groups.
And I noticed that I act differently. I seem more engaged with those newcomers. I use more gestures, you know.
Trying to help support their language and,
Gestures and more hand movement, more expression with them.
but you know that that would work well with the third graders too.
Yes, they need that now.
Oh, okay, so you feel like you
They
can
are
release
needing
them.
now. We work on some vocabulary development, that they need those.
Not the
extras
same
now.
support.
So I noticed that the expression, my engagement is more with the newcomers. I noticed that.
That's interesting.
And regarding my interactions, my positive interactions are greater with the newcomers, and my negative interactions are greater with the third graders.
What's your theory on
I
that?
couldn't hear exactly what she's trying to build their confidence. And then for like the third grader, she, you know, expects more of her expectations are a little bit higher.
What do you
Now, that
think?
is too.
Subconscious.
That's
And
true.
also, yes, because in order for a child to develop confidence and start talking,
Right.
they need a lot of encouragement. So every sounding out well the words, good job, let's try it again. And for the other kids in third grade, they try maybe to play a little bit more, to try to be more interactive among themselves outside the small group. Because my interaction with them is just small group. So maybe that's,
So for the newcomers, you're trying to create this safe environment so that they're willing to take a risk and talk more. And for the third graders, they need to work on reading comprehension, so they have like a task, and you want them to get down to the task. That's very
but I
interesting.
noticed also that what interactions with one student in third grade, the negative are more with one kid. So one of my notes is that I need to correct his behavior less.
Right. So for that one child that you noticed you're having a lot of negative interactions with, you're going to really look for
Yes.
opportunities for them commenting on their positive behavior. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nice. That'll be interesting to see how that changes over time. Nice. Anybody else notice something about themselves besides how weird they stand?
I also noticed that my negatives was more towards one student. And I noticed that more negatives I said, more negative things he did. So I was like, okay, maybe I need to ignore him. Like whatever he says, I'm gonna just ignore him. So he will lay down, okay, I just ignore it and walk past him. And then if someone else asks something, I just ignore him completely. So I noticed that helped a lot. A lot. It helps a lot.
Well,
like
he wants your attention,
Yeah,
and if
he
you're not
wants
going to give it to him, then I'm going to stop that behavior and I'm going to try differently.
yeah, he does it now. He took it good away. He wants something. So that's fine. And then sometimes we be doing things like in the carpet or whatever, and he's on his desk. But I told him, come, and he just said, no, I don't want to. Okay, well, whatever. You know, I need to focus on the other 22 I have instead of just that one. So I ignore him, and then slowly he comes by himself now, instead of me having to come, and wasting time.
Right,
So
right.
I noticed
right.
that also.
Right, so we're going to go on with the class, whether
Yeah,
you're
yeah, I go
going
on.
to join in or not. That's up to you. And surely, hanging out with the class on the carpet is more fun than sitting by myself
Right.
at the desk. I was just sitting here to see if I could get their
Yeah,
attention.
and when I call him, I say, oh, no, he's not here. And put it, because I give him points. I say, oh, he's not here. And then, so he kind of looks like,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
And he wants points, so he comes over. Yeah.
Very good, very good. Yes, ma'am.
What I did, another thing kind of like remind me of what you're saying, is that I was trying to do too much of focus on, come on, stop.
Yes.
And then I kind of stop, and then what I did with one class that always is a little bit, they talk a lot, I just say, okay, the ones that want to do art today, and they want to try the oil pastels and watercolors and do this, you're all going to be in these two tables here. The other ones, free drawing, whatever you want to draw. And then I start just, and then they will ask
They're
me,
like-
and I just attend to the other ones and give them everything. Oh, and the other ones start like moving to this table. So it's like, okay, I see.
Oh my goodness, I feel like you've learned things that sometimes take years to learn as a teacher. That's really amazing, and that lowers your frustration and stress, and it teaches them that you don't run the class, I run the class, and I can't control your behavior, but I can control where you sit and what you work with, and so that's what I'm going to do. Very nice, awesome. And I feel like as we've talked, we've sort of answered that third question, what changes have you made to your classroom based on what you saw in your recordings? Does anybody else want to just make a comment before we move on to the next piece?
I've noticed that every time I've made a negative, like a correction, because I'm in the hallway in the morning, I immediately follow it with a positive.
Good.
Immediately.
Good,
You know, 'cause
good.
now I've got learned that, okay, as soon as I say, please walk, you know,
And then thank you for walking. Thank you for walking. And maybe that could be something you could try. Instead of saying, please walk, just start thanking the ones
Oh, I
that are
do.
walking.
I do that.
And leave the other one, they're going to figure out.
and the fact that if I don't say good morning to them, they start looking at me like, you forgot to say something to me. They've gotten so used to that now that
It
they
feels
expect me
good.
to say good morning to them.
I
I
come
know.
in-
They always miss me when I'm not there. Like, 'cause I was gone
Oh,
to
the-
AIE for 3 days.
Uh-huh.
They're like,
They'll ask you where you
where were you? We didn't see you. Were you sick? So
I
they're
can
always
remember my
there.
classes always be like, did you bring us something? No, I did not. Very good. Yes, ma'am.
Well, all of this is really good, and it doesn't always, I think, change that quickly. Like I
It'll take time.
have, you know, some classes that are tougher, and I have 45 minutes with them for music. And the first go-round, I was in absolute panic. I was so ridiculous, because I was like, if I'd correct somebody, then immediately I'd go, everybody's doing a really good job, and I really like what you're saying. I'm killing myself
no,
here.
no.
You know, I only have 45 minutes, and I get
That's not what we're doing.
you know? It's so stupid. And so, well, and I felt bad about myself, because I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and I'm like, I know this, I can't do
No,
this.
we did not do this for you to feel bad about yourself.
No. Anyway, then the next class, and that was a young group, and they respond better, I think, too. But then I have
Maybe more
some that have had for a long time,
Yes.
and they've got some issues.
Some
and-
habits.
Yeah, some habits is the word, I guess. And then I found that I didn't want to redirect them, because I knew I owed them. And I only had 45 minutes.
Now, here's the deal. She does owe them 3, but they can, wait, how often do you see your students?
Every 3 days.
So
I'm
see,
so far behind. No.
you can find them in the hall.
No, I do. And I find every chance I can. But, you know, those behaviors before they turn around, if you're going to fix it like that, if they're embedded with habit, you know, some consistent habits, that behavior's going to get worse before it gets better.
That's a
So
good
I
point.
saw some of that
You
with
see that a
a
lot.
couple of my kids. It was like, wow, you're not responding like that, you know, because you think I'm not really
Right.
I'm not real, you know, you
Right.
think I'm just playing here.
I
And
think-
so that I have to weather and keep going with
I think
it.
you made another good point. The younger ones typically respond to this much more quickly, and part of it is because those habits aren't so ingrained in them, and they're willing to switch out.
I think she also brings up a good point that you're changing yourself more than you're really changing them.
Right.
And that it has to be very natural and authentic, because when it's fake, they can tell. And
Oh,
it
good
just gets
point.
worse.
Good point.
Right. But I think that's something that we think about a lot. Well, the book says, but if you don't make it authentic to you,
Right.
they pick it up very quickly, and they laugh at you, and they will play the game with you to make you act like a puppet. And that's what you find yourself doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the pressure in
I
the
wanna
video
interject
is
on
a
Oh,
real
please
thing.
do, please do.
Because this is something I still work on with myself. And, but when I first started, they told me the whole ratio, and mine was 5-to-1 when I started. So I had a roll sheet, and I had all these little circles. Every time I redirected a kid, I'd put 5 circles, and I'd cross them off. So that doesn't work, by the way. But then I found myself realizing that my very difficult students, when it came time to give them a positive, I couldn't think of anything because they had made me so mad already.
So even though they're doing something positive, you can't
I can't
even feel the...
think about it. I can't remember. And so when they would do good things, or, you know, if they got new shoes, I always tried to remember when they got new shoes because that was like the best thing in the world for them.
to notice that they have...
I would write it down on a sticky note on my roll sheet. Then when I needed to give them a positive because I'd given them a negative, I had a note of something I could say to them. Because usually in the moment I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah, I understand. Especially when you're upset.
Yeah.
And every time I see you, I get upset. I'm sure, you know, and I don't know about elementary school, but at the high school level, some days the kids would be like, oh, miss, it was so nice today because so-and-so wasn't here. Like, they knew it too.
They know here.
They know here.
You know, what do they say, 20% of your students take up 80% of your time? And that's not how you want to, you know, that's not how you want to have your life as a teacher. So good. How about the other second and third year teachers? I didn't mean to tell you make you think you couldn't talk. Any ratios of interactions or anything else about interacting with the students? You know, and the idea there is, and I think Dr. Adams, they nailed it. You can't be fake. It can't be like, oh crap, I have to, yeah, you're pretty and you got shoes. I mean, you know, you can't, it's got to be real and you've got to catch them doing something positive. And sometimes that's, you have to look really hard.
They have to believe that you connected, really care about them.
Yeah.
And they can tell the kids are smart.
Oh yeah, yes, yes.
But the one thing it did for me that was such a positive is just what you said. It caused me to look at the situation and the behavior as apart from the personality and what all's been tied up in that, you know, whenever, the day, the year, the hour, just, you know, and it was like, okay, you know, ooh, oh good. You know, it causes you really to focus on the even tiny behaviors, like, oh, you walked to the trash can, thank you.
Yes, right, and didn't hit anybody on the way over.
Yeah,
Yes.
with some of your difficult kids, it can be the most smallest thing. I remember, like 2 days ago, you know, before we left, I remember telling someone, thank you for not staring down your neighbor during talk time. Like, because I have a kid who does this during talk time.
Yes. And being real specific like that, it helps the child understand what you're thanking them for. Yeah. Because if you say, thank you for the way you did that, who knows what piece of that they're going to take with them.
And also, I like starting on a positive. So we greet our kids at the door, and I always give them a compliment before they walk in.
So right there.
You're
Nice hair, nice shoes, something.
Thank you for coming to school today.
Yeah, thank you for being on time, usually.
Well, just even a good morning with a smile is a positive, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. That is you giving them attention.
I'm sorry.
Yes, that idea that you just talked about. I went to an all-girls Catholic school for 9 years, so I have a lot of problems. Just imagine me at an all-girls Catholic school. I have written, I will not chew gum 1,000,000 times. But here's the one thing that I took away from that experience, and I'm not sure they believed it, but they said it a lot. They said, hate the sin, not the sinner. So I feel like that's what you said, though, kind of. It's like, I'm going to remove you from your behavior.
Yeah.
So I don't like what you did, but that doesn't mean I don't like you. Okay, let's see. Let's look at the other handout, the phases of first-year teachers. Now, even though this says first-year teachers, the truth is all teachers go through this, but maybe a little less dramatically than new teachers. They don't start with as much anticipation and they don't go down into disillusionment quite so much because they have some experience and some kind of like a bag of tools under their belt. So what I want you to do is read the first 3 phases: anticipation, survival, and disillusionment. And disillusionment goes over to the back, but stop there. All right, let's just talk about the phases just a little bit. That first anticipation phase. I love this. I did a workshop for a group of new teachers and asked them to write down on a card why you went into teaching. Oh my God. I'm going to save the world. I'm going to make every child a genius. I mean, it's just so, it really picked me up to read that this is why these people are here doing this. And I vaguely remembered thinking that. So that's that first anticipation. But you have not a lot of ground in reality at that point. So you're thinking you know what teaching is. The survival phase. This is when the realities of the day-to-day stuff hit you. It says September and October. So it's like, wow, this is what I decided to do with my life. Okay. I'm thinking Walmart's not looking too bad. They're faced with many first-time problems. Here's what the research really shows. A brand new teacher in the classroom has 18 separate identifiable problems. By year 3, year 2 and 3 people, by year 3, they have 5 of their 18 figured out. So they still have 13 problems going on in the classroom. But it's not linear. It's exponential. So by 5 years, they pretty much have them all figured out. The problem is by year 5, we've lost half of the people who started because they got frustrated, they got disappointed. We had a middle school teacher who, it was her second year, and she called me and she's like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I don't like the things that they want to talk to me about. I know that I should be teaching them content, but I can't get their behaviors. I have to give up. I'm like, you know what, we're not going to give up. We're not going to lose you. But if the middle school stuff is making you uncomfortable, let's think about elementary. And she was, whatever that was a crazy K-8 certification or something. So she went to second grade. She was a marvelous second grade teacher because she could handle them. She liked to talk to them. Middle school wasn't for her. But she knew she wasn't being successful, and that made her want to quit. So just remember, 18 problems your first year, 13 problems by year 3, no problems by year 5. So
No problem.
no problem. No problems by year 5. Those two over there, like,
Really?
you build your bag of tools, so you have so many more tools to pull out. You really do feel different after that. So trust me. Now here's where we are now, the disillusionment phase. They call it the dark phase. You come to work in the dark, you go home in the dark, it's just all dark. You haven't had a break in a long time. And a lot of times, you know what happens when you go on break? I hope this didn't happen to anybody last week. You get sick because your body's been going and going and going, and then as soon as you start to relax, it's like, oh, by the way, I have all these germs in me. You get sick. So here's what you need. You need lots of vitamin C. Vitamin C helps your body do what it does naturally. You need lots of sleep. You need lots of good nutrition. You have to really take care of yourself, especially the first year, because I don't know if you noticed, but these are germy little bodies that you have in here. They want to touch you and share their germs with you. So you're building up your immune system. I swear to God, teachers have the best immune systems on the planet.
Okay, teachers do. I don't know how they do it. It's not out every day. 4-year-olds.
Well, I remember my one day in kindergarten, and it wasn't good. I wanted to spray them all down with Lysol. Back away from me. Look at that very first sentence. Many new teachers spend up to 70 hours a week on work for the classroom. 70 hours a week. I'll never forget the guy who came in, the banker who came in and said he wanted to come to our ACP program, and they said, why do you want to be a teacher? And he said, I need an easier job. Like, yeah, this isn't it.
Find another job.
Yeah. They often hit the wall. Oh, look at that. It's not uncommon for classroom management concerns to occupy much of the teacher's time at this point of the year. And, and there's just things that it's almost impossible to teach somebody before they're actually in a classroom. You can be an undergraduate and take a classroom management class, but if you've never had a class to manage, they say things and they sound really good, but putting them into action is different. And notice this one, this piece, pressures from friends and family, complaining about the time teaching takes away from your relationships. It adds another stress to it. It's like, what do you mean you have to grade more stuff tonight? What do you mean you have to do that? I need you to be with me. And then it talks about your weakened immune system, and you might get sick. Now, I love the last sentence there, and it's really just that last piece. It talks about how the mentors need to help the new teachers, help the beginning teachers abandon ineffective routines and procedures. That's huge. Like, so here's what I'd like you to talk about, just at your tables with each other. What's something that you feel like you could stop doing? Something that you do in your classroom that you could stop doing. Something that takes time. And here's what I'm thinking of. Maybe I don't need to grade every single piece of paper that they do. Maybe I can do a little more formative assessment. Maybe I don't need to write a sentence strip for each kid. Maybe I could photocopy it and do that. I don't, because I don't understand the elementary world that well, I don't know what these things are, but I feel like that's a really valuable piece there and really important, because you can't layer on all kinds of new things and keep doing all the old things. So just talk for a minute, and see if you can come up with something. Is there something that I'm doing that I can stop doing at this level that would free up a little more of my time?
I sat down at the end of last
Talk with each other. Okay, let me bring everybody back together. Lots of great ideas. Lots of great ideas. Well, yours was the funniest one.
Tell us a few of them.
Tell them about the calendar.
No, I was telling them that before, at the end of the month, I would sit after school, take down all the numbers for November, put up all the numbers for December, and change everything. I said, so now I'm doing it with them. I said, okay, remember yesterday was the last day of November, so now we're gonna start December. Today's the first day. So let's take down December. We counted how many days in November, so we counted, they were counting 1, 2. And then we also started patterns, so they did the pattern. I said, now December is different, so then we put, so instead of me staying, after school, we just did it as part of.
And they counted and they looked at the month.
Yes, and they know that it's over, and they know Christmas is coming up, and Thanksgiving is over.
Very good.
I like it.
Very good. And now you're not doing that after school.
I'm not doing that.
You're doing more important things that you should be doing. Okay, tell your funny story.
Okay, well, I was talking about last year in my class, how I was trying to explain to some of my students where some of our stuff was on our walls, like our reading wall and our writing wall. And one of my students was like, what wall? Like, what are you talking about? And then he turned around. I was like, you don't see the writing wall, the reading, this is where all of our stuff that we've been learning. He turned around, he's like, oh. And he was looking like he'd never seen it before. And this was at almost the end of the year, so like the STAR test. And I was just like, you didn't know that this has been up here for you the whole time. And so I realized that before I put anything up on the wall, I have to make sure they know, like, hey, we're putting this on the wall, this is important, so
and this is what it's for, and this is how you use it.
Yes, instead of just throwing stuff up there to make it look good, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, that's one of those things, because I teach first grade, so that's always over exaggerated. That's that, I forgot how to spell dog. Let me go to my word wall, and I walk over and point to the word dog. Like, you have to be really animated.
Yes.
I'm sure it'll still work for third grade.
Yes, that's what I've been starting to do. Like, you see this main idea, bam, right here. And now
Yes, you got to use it yourself, and then they'll use it.
yes.
All right, now we'd like the second and third year teachers to participate in this. We're going to do this structured conversation, like all 4 questions separately. Okay, so we're going to start with the second and third year teachers. I want you to talk about what were some of the strategies you used to get through this disillusionment phase, this tough stretch between, basically between November starts and December What were some strategies that you can remember you used that kind of worked for you to do that? So just at your little groups, just the second and third year people talk about that. All right, let's move on to the next question. And this, we want the second and third years and the mentors to talk about this, because this is an important piece here. On those 14 days that you have off, mentors and second and third year teachers, talk to them about how do you rejuvenate yourself. And we know that's very personal and everybody does it differently, but the more ideas you can hear, the more there's probably an idea that really fits for you. So mentors, second and third year teachers, what do you do over this winter break to rejuvenate yourself? Talk about that a little bit. All right, let me bring you back together. One last piece here. And this is homework, but it's not for the second and third year teachers. So here's one last thing you have to do. We're still continuing with our reading, but we're going to skip a chapter. So the mentors and the proteges should have one of these. It's kind of like a bookmark. It says, please read chapter 4 prior to the January meeting. And chapter 4 is teachers using cameras to coach themselves. And what it is we did ratios of interactions. And you'll find that in this chapter. But it's also other ideas for things that you can look for in a video clip. So under homework, it says read chapter 4, choose a focus for a video recording. There's lots of ideas in here. 68 pages, 68 to 84, lots of different ideas of things that you can look for in the classroom. You can use one of those, or you can come up with your own thing that you want to look for. Maybe there's something really specific that you'd like to work on. Feel free to choose whatever you want. But what you're going to do is you're going to develop a way to record whatever it is. You know how we did ratios of interactions and you record positive and negative and then you did your numbers? What this chapter has with all of its ideas are ways to record those ideas. And what you'll find is that if you go to their website, and I think Patricia has it on here, the Corwin.com website, all of these templates that you see in here are on the website as like Word documents or PDFs, something like that. So you can download those. It's under chapter resources. So our next meeting is January 7th, and if you'll just sort of do another videotape of yourself, choose something to look at, and record your data, and bring that back with you, whatever that happens to look like for what you want to record on January 7th. We will meet again then. And we want to thank the second and third year teachers. We gave them a little gift there, and especially just for them. What did you say?
No, nothing.
Okay. Did you say, can I open it now? Yes, you may open your gift now. My brain was processing. What did you say? And we have a few more snacks over there, so grab a snack on the way out. And one more thing, at the bottom of your bookmark, we put the phases of the first year teacher on there, and here are ways that you can de-stress and rejuvenate. And the first one that I heard from the group is on here, sleep. Sleep, get lots of sleep. Spend some time with your animals. Play a board game. And I love that she said start the jigsaw puzzle. Don't finish it, just start it. And we don't see you again. Happy holidays. And thank you for still being here, new teachers. We appreciate you hanging in there.